to have with us an absolutely amazing tour guide taking us throughout Georgia. Welcome, Katie Akhobadze.
Hello, Emily. I'm so happy that you say my name so correctly.
This is the hardest thing, is getting the last names are very long here.
Correct, correct.
So you're a tour guide, you're also an educator, a real Renaissance woman. First, start by telling us about this beautiful city of Tbilisi and the history when it was founded.
So Tbilisi actually was founded as the capital of Georgia in 5th century. Of course, as the settlement is much more older, and we have the archaeological evidences that prove that in 1st and 2nd century here people were living. But the capital actually was founded in 5th century by the king Vakhtang Gorgasali, who decided to move the capital from the ex-capital area to Tbilisi because this area had a beautiful landscape to make the town safer.
It's amazing. I mean, you look around, you see all of these beautiful buildings from many different centuries on the mountains. I imagine even building the city was not easy to build into all of these cliffs and stones.
Definitely, and as the historians tell us, the major things what he started to do here is that he started building the capital with construction of the citadel and the wall of Tbilisi that would be protecting the town.
What we're seeing behind us here.
So we're in a very central part of Old Tbilisi, and the name is the Rire Park. And just behind us is the most beautiful, actually, the new architecture of Old Tbilisi, which is called Peace Bridge. And at some point, it also reminds us like Eiffel Tower for the Parisians, because from the beginning, almost nobody liked it, because it's too the modern architecture for the too old city. But now we cannot imagine the old downtown without this bridge, because this is actually the one which is connecting the old part of Tbilisi to the new one. This is why it's called Peace Bridge, the pedestrian, and it's also decorated with a special type of the neon bulbs that are more than 27,000 in number. Yes.
Wow. Us about this beautiful cathedral.
Yeah, this is Sioni Cathedral, which is one of the oldest cathedrals of Georgia, and actually is the witness of the whole history of Tbilisi as the capital of this country. So initially it was constructed to be built by the end of the 4th century and the beginning of the 5th century. That's the period when Tbilisi is decided as the small settlement to be turned into the capital. And since then, it has always been a major cathedral, and it's also the place where the major liturgy and the services were always organized there. And we have the several also historical moments, how actually the different invaders used this beautiful structure for their purposes. So they destroyed, but not fully, but then it was demolished a little bit. Then the Georgians always were trying, after the invasion, they were always trying to renovate. So the facade now looks a bit younger, because it was last time renovated, the facade in 17th century, but believe me that the inner part of the walls are the old as Tbilisi.
Wow. So the 4th century CE, we're talking about a long time ago. Yeah. What was the Christianity like then? I mean, this is still the early days of Christianity. Right?
This actually official, the Christianity here is only 100 years old. That's all. But making the Christianity as the state and a major religion in this country, it also was the announcement for this country, like the political direction to the West, the East Rome Empire. So everything, like, the identity, the culture started in this country to be based on the Christian religion. No wonder why Georgians also were trying to build the cathedrals, and especially in the place where they were going to make the cathedral, like the capital of this country here.
About the frescoes inside the church.
Yeah, the frescoes sadly are not the original ones, because in 19th century, when Russian Empire conquered Georgia, they whitewashed the major part of the original traditional Georgian frescoes that already were the hundreds of years old, and they repainted all these frescoes as the Russian style, the paintings. So this is why in this beautiful cathedral we don't have the original frescoes anymore.
So the Russian influence is still inside this church,
and
even if it's not asked for.
Yeah, of course, and we didn't change anything because this is the part of the history, and that's all. It's all about the Christianity and it's all about the religion. So if it's still about the Christianity, we decided not to change that.
So small. It's the size of Switzerland and Delaware and West Virginia put together if you use it in terms of the United States. But it's kind of ironic and interesting that it is kind of like Switzerland in the sense of it doesn't have a beef with anybody. Everybody seems to get along, and it's a very peace-loving culture.
Yes, actually, the major thing to mention is that Georgia, throughout the history, has never ever been the invader of any other countries. But it was the place of meeting different people from the different ethnical groups coming here and living together. Even we have in old Tbilisi 2 square kilometer territories. In this territory we have 5 functioning religious confession structures. That also is the best example how in a small territories everybody had their own religious structures to go and pray for their gods.